Good morning, everybody, from Denver International Airport here in Denver, Colorado. It's about 11:10 a.m. and I got here a few minutes ago from Chicago on the United 777 in business class. Be sure to check that video out if you haven't already. My next flight is going to be a pretty awesome one. I'll be flying Delta Airlines for the first time after over 10 years from here in Denver to Atlanta on a very, very rare aircraft these days, the Boeing 767-400. First time flying the 764, maybe my last time, I don't know. But it's going to be an awesome flight. Hope you guys are excited, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Delta operates at a Denver airport's Concourse A. I initially arrived into Concourse B, so in order to change terminals, I had to take the airport train. The train stations are about 2 levels below the main floor and are easily accessible via escalators and elevators. Connections at Denver Airport are quick and easy since the trains run every few minutes and it's only about a 1-minute ride in between concourses.
The doors are closing.
Exit here for all A gates. Doors here for all B and C gates.
This afternoon, I'll be on board Delta Flight 1221 to Atlanta, departing out of gate A31. On today's flight, I'm doing 3 things that I haven't done in almost 10 years. I'm flying Delta, I'm flying on a 767, and I'm flying to Atlanta. The last time I did any of these 3 things was in 2011. I was in 3rd grade, so it feels great to be breaking that streak today. By the way, be sure you stick around till the end of the video to find out how I managed to take this flight for free. Well, sort of. I really like the architecture in Denver Airport since the terminals are built in a way that resembles more of a shopping mall with all these various levels and shops. The airport is currently undergoing a major renovation phase on all 3 of its concourses, and this is pretty noticeable as we make our way to the gate. The renovation will be completed by next year, and needless to say, it'll make Denver an even better airport than what it already is.
As part of Delta's commitment to the care and well-being of our customers and employees, we are taking the following extra steps to promote a safe and healthy flying experience. Because we'd like to check it to your final destination. These are limited items that you might need in flight. Items of high value, spare lithium batteries and e-cigarettes. If you're traveling with a smart bag today.
The Boeing 767-400 is the largest variant of the 767, and arguably it's one of the most unique planes you could ever fly on. Only 38 of these planes were ever built, 37 of which were built between 2000 and 2002. Continental Airlines was the launch customer and they took delivery of 16 planes, all of which now fly with United. Delta is the largest operator of the 767-400 with 21 examples in its fleet. Our aircraft today was the 5th example delivered to the airline. The newest and final 767-400 was built in 2010. This aircraft has an all-VIP configuration and currently operates with the Bahrain Royal Flight.
No different than every other day we've gone to work. Beautiful, thanks. Scan barcode there. Got you there. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Delta boards their aircraft from back to front and D-planes from front to back. They separate you into groups based on seat rows, so this means boarding takes slightly longer. However, the overall process is very smooth.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, where's sitting?
38. Thank you.
What'd you say?
Delta fits their newly refurbished 767-400s with 238 seats in a 4-class configuration. There are 34 seats in Delta One First Class with a 121 configuration, 20 seats in Premium Select with a 222 configuration, 28 seats in Comfort Plus, and 156 seats in Main Cabin, both with a spacious 232 configuration. My seat for this 2-hour journey across to Atlanta is 38G, located in the forward Main Cabin section. Each main cabin seat features an in-flight entertainment screen with headphone jack and USB port, a tray table, 2 seat pockets, one of which is reserved for literature, and 31 inches of legroom, which was more than enough. There's also a universal power outlet and USB port located in between seats. Unfortunately, each pair of seats has just one power outlet, so you might end up fighting with your seatmate over it. Now, one thing that really confused me about Delta was their middle seat blocking policy. I say was because this policy expired on April 30th, and Delta has now opened all seats for booking just like most other airlines. Basically, through most of the pandemic, Delta was blocking middle seats and selected aisle seats on their planes, but this concept was a little flawed. Basically, in a row of 3 seats like this, the middle seat would be blocked off. That's fine, but here's where it doesn't make sense. In a row of 2 seats, like here on the 767, Delta wouldn't block the aisle seat, even if that meant sitting next to a complete stranger like I was. So that leads me to question, in what circumstances would the aisle seat in a pair like this be blocked off? If you know, please leave a comment below, but I guess it doesn't matter now.
On this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. 6 doors have detachable slides that can be used as rafts. The 2 smaller doors behind the wing have detachable slides that can be used for flotation.
Take a moment to find the exits closest to you, and remember, they might be behind you. If there's a loss of power, lights will illuminate the aisle to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, the panels inside the laboratories and above your seat will open, revealing oxygen masks. If this happens, reach up and pull the mask or yellow streamer towards you until the tube is fully extended to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face coverings and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Flip the elastic strap over your head. Adjust the mask if necessary. And breathe normally. In just a moment, we will dim our cabin lights. If you wish to use your reading lights, for those of you seated in the main cabin, you will find those controls right there at your fingertips on the monitor or the screen at your seat. For those of you in our Delta One first class cabin, you will also find your controls on your monitor, as well as your remote control, which is underneath the armrest.
to current health concerns, the safety card is the only in-flight literature found in the seat pocket. Magazines and even air sickness bags have been temporarily removed. Airlines love to pride themselves on their super intense cleaning practices of their planes these days, so you can imagine my surprise when I opened up the seat pocket and found a sanitizing towelette from the last flight still sitting there. The seat pocket itself wasn't the cleanest, but thankfully this was the only part of the aircraft that I found unclean. Row 38 is a bulkhead row, therefore the seat recline here is quite limited. However, each economy class seat has adjustable headrests. The headrests are very rigid and probably the best I've ever experienced across all the many airlines that I've flown in my life. Delta's in-flight entertainment system on the 767 is fully touchscreen and there is no remote. As you can see by these numbers, the system is very extensive and will definitely keep you satisfied on long-haul flights.
So I was just browsing the in-flight entertainment selection here and I found something quite interesting. So Delta does have quite a few movies available in other languages. You can see Chinese, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Thai. No Hindi movies, unfortunately, which I found interesting considering Delta does fly to India. So I would expect there to be some Hindi language movies on here, but Thai was really random. Delta doesn't even fly to Thailand anymore. I don't even know if they ever did, but they have one movie in Thai, which is pretty random, but also quite interesting.
So it turns out Delta did in fact serve Thailand at some point. They had one flight to the country operating between Tokyo, Narita, and Bangkok. Unfortunately, this service was dropped in October 2016. The moving map on Delta's IFE is the same system as the one you'll find on American Airlines. However, Delta's maps feature noticeably more viewing options. Some cool ones include the compass view and command center. You can also browse various time zones across the globe and view flight information. Another nice feature about the moving maps is that you can adjust the layers and settings, allowing you to personalize the maps however you'd like. Now, because there's no physical remote, Delta compensates for this by putting the reading light and call button controls on the screen, so you'll have to press the icons in order to activate them. Overall, Delta Studio is an excellent in-flight entertainment system that left me thoroughly impressed. Wi-Fi is available on this flight, and in my opinion, Delta has the best Wi-Fi offerings across all big three legacy carriers. Messaging is completely free, unlike the other carriers, and the other plans are reasonably priced. You can stream entertainment as well on your device, but there's no point in doing that on this flight. As the snack service approaches, here's a look at the tray table. It was clean and can also be pulled towards you, which is something I always appreciate.
Alright, so the snack has been served on board this flight from Denver to Atlanta, 767-400. Currently about, I'd say 20 minutes or so into the flight, and crew just came around passing snack bags to everybody, so let's see what we got in here. Got a napkin and a little card for the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is available. I don't think it's free internet though. I think you have to pay for internet. That's very nice. So we got some almonds, especially branded for Delta. We got another wipe. Have a Cliff Bar. Haven't had one of these in a while, so we'll see how that tastes. And then a bottle of water. So really nice, pretty well stocked, and yeah, fairly nice. So one thing that I found pretty surprising is that Delta Airlines do provide headsets to passengers who don't have any or who would want one. However, they're not complimentary. I mean, I've flown on American and United many times, and they usually give headsets out for free. Delta said that on this flight at least, if you want to purchase, if you want a headset for the IFE, you'd have to pay $2, which is kind of interesting considering American and United give them out for free.
I mean, I obviously brought my own headphones, so just something to keep in mind if you ever fly Delta. Be sure to bring your own headset so you don't have to pay $2 to purchase one. Now, I would have gotten up to walk around the aircraft and show you the lavatory. However, my seatmate was asleep pretty much the entire flight. So being the respectful passenger that I am, I decided that consideration comes before content. So I remained in my seat the entire flight. The remainder of the flight was pretty uneventful. I watched a movie and just enjoyed every second I could on this unique plane. Unfortunately, 2 hours flew by, and it was soon time to descend into the Big A. Our flight path was basically just a straight line heading southeast. However, our descent was a little more interesting. The downwind leg of the approach would take us north of the airport, passing over downtown Atlanta. We would then make our 180-degree base leg turn and come into land on runway 26 right.
We ask that you please check the seat pocket in front of you and around your seat for any items that may be considered as trash. As the flight attendants pass through the cabin for their final walkthrough, please pass those items to them.
As we approach the airport, let's quickly recap today's flight. The Delta 767 Economy Class hard product overall is excellent, and I would love to try it out on a longer flight. The crew were amazing and did a great job enforcing the necessary guidelines. I flew all 3 legacy carriers that day, United, Delta, and American, and from what I could tell, Delta does the best job enforcing the mask mandate, as the crew were very strict about it. The snack was the only service on board today, and while the snack bag offering was quite less, it wasn't bad. The cleanliness of the aircraft was alright, just the seat pocket could have used some more attention. Aside from that, it was a great flight, and now, here's our landing at the world's busiest airport. Welcome to Atlanta. So now I'm sure you're all wondering, how did I manage to take this flight for free? Well, let's back up a bit to last year. Back in March 2020, I was supposed to fly Delta from Chicago to New York for spring break. Unfortunately, as it got closer to our trip, it became clear that traveling to New York might not have been the best idea for obvious health-related reasons. As such, we canceled our flights just 2 days before we were supposed to leave. Luckily, Delta issued us e-credits for the canceled tickets, which could be used for any Delta flights until 2022. The cost of each individual ticket for our New York flights was $235. The total cost of this one-way flight from Denver to Atlanta was $93. Therefore, I was able to use my e-credits to book this flight, meaning I didn't pay a single dollar and still had $142 remaining. So there you go. That's how I managed to take this flight for quote-unquote free. Needless to say, thanks to the remaining Delta credits that we have, you'll definitely see me back on Delta very, very soon, hopefully on a long overdue trip back to New York.
Yes, sir. I do have one.
Alright, so here we are in Atlanta. That's a 757-300. Not the one I came in on, but still pretty cool to see. Anyway, it's my first time back in Atlanta after almost 10 years. Crazy to be back here. And airport's changed a lot since I was last here in 2011, and it's just great to be back. Got about 30 minutes, and then I gotta go to my next flight. We go into Charlotte on American Eagle in first class. That's gonna be the next video most likely. Hope you enjoyed this flight on the Delta 767-400. What a flight, man. To fly 764. It was amazing. Amazing flight. Delta Airlines, you guys are definitely the best US carrier in my opinion. Amazing flight, amazing aircraft. And I'll definitely be back on Delta soon. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.